Baby, I'm dying to know what it feels like to run my hands over a six-pack. I need a hot boyfriend. That night I scrolled across a faceless shot on TikTok. I meant to forward it to my bestie, but I accidentally sent it to her little brother, who is now living in my condo. Then should I come to your room right now? He texted back in a flash. The second I realized my mistake, I tried to unsend, just as a deep voice echoed from the hallway. Nina, I'm here. Like hell I was going to open that door. Later, he had me pinned to the bed, murmuring in my ear, Nina, that account is mine, and those abs are mine too. I'm letting you cop a feel right now. And from now on, they're for your hands only. With that, he dropped his face to the hollow of my collarbone. Before we go any further, hit subscribe and drop a comment telling us where you're listening. I was still asleep when a fist hammered on my door the next morning. You've got to be kidding me, cut it out. I groaned, rolling out of bed and shoving my flip-flops on. It's the crack of dawn, give a girl her weekend. There goes the lazy Saturday of my dreams. I stomped over to see who dared rob me of my beauty sleep. Yanking the door open, I barked, whoever the hell you are, Nina. A deep, warm baritone cut me off. Through groggy, mascara-smeared eyes I stared up at 6'3" of solid male. Great, sunrise and random relatives, I snapped. Then I met those smiling fox eyes and my sass fizzled. Hold up. The trending tag #GoldenBoyBoyfriend suddenly felt like a prophecy. Carved cheekbones? Confirmed. Razor jaw? Double confirmed. What? Was I sleep drunk or seriously boy-starved? I slapped myself. If it didn't sting, I was going mouth to mouth on this hallucination. Dream logic, right? Ow. Okay, definitely awake, and I still hit like I mean it. Hot guy, who are you looking for? I croaked, panda circles and all. The stranger cracked up, eyes crescents of mischief. Nina, you're adorable, I scowled. Cute doesn't equal permission to laugh at me. Something about that grin pinged my memory. No way. Asher? I speed-dialed my bestie 2 cities away. Heh, so you met him, Avery answered way too smugly. Oops, did I forget to mention? He's crashing with you for a few days. Avery, when did your brother become this? While I gaped, Ash let himself past the threshold. Jeans, duffel, and enough sunshine to power the whole valley. 10 years ago the kid had been 5'0" and round, my favorite donut. Now legs for days and shoulders for miles. Pretty Nina, someday I'm gonna marry you, he used to holler, a string of snot dangling like tinsel as he chased me. I ended the call, brain buffering. Shoes, put these on, I muttered, shoving hotel-style slippers at him. Our gazes collided again, and my pulse fluttered. If I didn't know he was 20, I'd be in serious trouble. Yes, Nina, he answered, all angelic obedience. Love the color palette, he commented, eyes doing a once-over. Still fog-brained, I followed his grin downward. Scarlet tank, neon green shorts, mustard yellow slides, and my natural curly afro. So basically a walking color wheel tragedy. A 20-year-old beanpole judging my drip? Unacceptable. So what? I huffed, hands on hips. I like life in HD, sunburst, emerald, chartreuse. A kaleidoscope, okay? Got a problem, Picasso? He collapsed onto my couch, propped his head on one hand, and kept smirking while I slammed the door. Nina, why do you have men's flip-flops? He wiggled a foot in the pair he'd grabbed. Boyfriend hiding somewhere? They're my decoys for single girl safety, dealer's choice of excuses. Let me guess, 28 and still never been kissed, he teased, voice syrupy. I inhaled a gasp so sharp it could have sliced papaya. Seriously, how does that face produce such smackable sentences? Not me, he went on, lacing fingers behind his head. I'm on a summer mission, find my future girlfriend and date her silly. I fake smiled, zombie walking back toward my room. Spare keys in the shoe rack. Going out? DIY. I'm off to reboot my life. I headed toward my room. When I was almost there, the promise of crawling back under the covers lifted my mood. I draped myself over the doorframe. Oh, right, have Vance's amazing date, Ash, I called out, sending the wish his way. Beep beep. I reached over and killed the alarm on my nightstand. Ugh. Mom had insisted on slotting a perfect setup date into my precious weekend, and I'd already suffered through 2 rounds of waking up. Ugh hi. I zombie walked through wash-up, threw on my usual outfit, and reached for the door. The second it swung open, there he was, fingers flying over my beloved PS. Why are you still here? Nina, you're up. His eyes lit up the moment he saw me. Thought you had a brunch date, why haven't you left? I detoured to the kitchen for a glass of water, then stopped short. The dining table had been fully staged: milk, toast, sunny side UPS, even a little pot of congee. You did this? Shock number 2. Yeah, Nina. He caught me staring, jogged over from the living room, and beamed. Sit, eat, Nina. He narrowed his eyes into happy crescents, basically a golden retriever wagging Vance's invisible tail, begging for praise. I've actually got to run. I'm meeting someone for lunch. Looking into those hope-filled eyes, I almost couldn't push the words out. The instant they left my mouth, the sparkle in his gaze flatlined. Haha, I let out a strangled laugh. Rejecting him felt criminal. Didn't you say you were going on a date? Why are you still here, then? I quick switched topics. She just texted, said she already had plans today. His voice dripped disappointment. Oh. Stood up. Compared to that, my turning down breakfast probably didn't even register as a bummer. My guilt evaporated on the spot. It's all good. I gave his shoulder a reassuring pat. So, have you told her how you feel? Gossip opportunity, couldn't let it slide. Kind of. He thought for a second, then pinned me with those suddenly bright eyes. Oh ho, little Mr. Devoted here. Well, you can crash at my place as long as you need, I announced. Until you win her over. Helping true love, look at me being the world's best Nina. Invite me to the wedding, okay? Of course, Nina. You'll definitely be at my wedding. The corner of his mouth curled into a soft smile. I might not have wanted a weekend setup date, but at least the restaurant had location points, right next to my favorite sweet. Their chocolate fudge cake? Absolute kryptonite. Crazy popular, too. I'd have to wrap this disaster up fast and sprint over. I'd been sitting almost Vance hour when the guy finally showed. Out of courtesy I kept quiet, he was Mom's friend's kid, after all. Hi, Morgan. I offered a polite handshake. The second he sat, he mopped sweat off his forehead with his hand, and then tried to clasp mine with that same sweaty palm. Gross. I yanked my hand back. He answered with Vance's awkward chuckle. Morgan, such a busy man, texted you were basically here Vance hour ago. I sipped my coffee. Ahaha, yeah, you have no idea how insane work is. He took it as a compliment. His booming laugh echoed through the room, heads turned, and I wanted to crawl under the table. Assistant manager life, you know? Even weekends get swallowed by overtime. Still flexing. Words failed. Hey, why didn't you order for me? He noticed I'd only gotten myself a latte. Not very thoughtful, Riley. The moment that sentence hit my ears, my patience evaporated. Every syllable he uttered grated. I just kept chugging coffee to stop myself from going full savage. You're pretty good looking. After we get married, you should quit. I'll give you $1,500 a month for the household, plus $500 in pocket money. 3 kids should do it, mix of boys and girls, ideally. He monologued on. Each new line earned another eye roll. Eventually I quit hiding them and went full 360 I exorcist. Mom, do you even realize what you're setting me up with? And your friend needs vetting, too. Dear God, Mom. Just as I was about to slam the table and bolt, a familiar low chuckle floated up behind me. Where had I heard that laugh? I twisted around and locked eyes with a pair of amused irises. Ash, seriously, this punk had been watching my train wreck the entire time. He didn't even flinch when busted, he just arched one brow, the human embodiment of pass the popcorn. I flicked a quick glare his way, then swiveled back to the human megaphone still yapping across from me. I smacked the tabletop and stood. Alright, I've hit my limit. I let out a weary laugh, pointing straight at him. You are absolutely, rage choked my vocabulary, I couldn't even finish the sentence. What a disgusting piece of trash. I grabbed my purse and walked out. Before leaving, I shot Asher, still sitting there laughing way too loudly, a death glare. Aren't you coming? Planning to date that guy or what? Nina, I swear you're just hungry. He caught up in 2 strides. His shameless laughter kept ringing in my ears. If he weren't a 6'3" giant, I'd have manually muted him. What are you even doing here? I suddenly asked. Heard the girl I like loves the cakes from this place, so I came to grab one. He lifted the pink box and waved it in front of my nose. It was from Sweet, the exact bakery I'm obsessed with. No way. I'm totally addicted to that shop too. She's got great taste, You'll have to introduce us next time. My eyes lit up instantly. Sugary cake can erase every lousy thing. I was heading there myself. I spun toward the store. I already went, he called after me, voice lazy. Everything sold out for the day. My shoulders sagged like deflated balloons. Ah, perfect, weekend setup date from hell, and now no cake either. I glared at Asher even though none of this was his fault. Still, if he'd mentioned he was going, I could have begged him to grab me a slice. No biggie, Nina. Share mine. Isn't that for your girlfriend? Texted her, she stuffed from her date, doesn't want it. Seriously? My eyes sparkled again, I'm defenseless against cake's gravitational pull. Then I won't be polite. What flavor did you get? Chocolate fudge. What are the odds? That's her favorite, and mine too. My eyes went supernova a second time. Night. After my shower I lay on the bed and FaceTimed Mom. I ranted about Morgan's cringe parade. Mom was horrified and swore she'd blacklist that matchmaking app forever. Once I'd vented, I opened TikTok to scroll. My algorithm must have read my mind. Every swipe delivered another 8-pack hottie. Online abs are truly therapeutic. Suddenly I froze. A faceless shot flashed by, easily the most perfect torso I'd ever seen. Smooth muscle, tight skin, just the right amount of dangerous. I'm a sharer by nature, so I downloaded the clip, captioned it. Babe, I need to know what those abs feel like. I want to date a hot guy so bad. And fired it off to my bestie before diving back into the scroll. I hadn't even finished the next clip when a reply popped. I tapped it, and my world imploded. So I should come to your room now? Reading Asher's response, my vision blacked out. How could anyone be this blind? I hammered unsend, too late. A low voice sounded outside my door. I'm here, Nina. I dove under the comforter, my face went molten in a heartbeat. No way I'm opening that door. When I stayed silent, I heard his deep, teasing chuckle. Sleep tight, Nina. And at full volume, anytime you want to touch some abs, just knock. A while later, silence returned. I poked my head out, still breathing hard, when Avery FaceTimed. Nina babe, miss me? Ash hasn't caused chaos, right? She added before I could answer. Nina, why is your face so red? You're not getting sick, are you? Panic colored her tone. I'm fine, just got out of the shower, I fibbed. If she knew I'd almost copped a feel of her little brother's six-pack, she'd go nuclear. So, no disasters, she mumbled, crunching chips. Nope, actually, he made breakfast this morning. What? She shrieked. I once begged that brat to fry me Vance egg. Know what he said? Making breakfast is couple-level intimate, only my girlfriend gets that. Nina, does the kid have a crush on you? He told me he was crashing at his girlfriend's, but he insisted on staying with you instead. You don't think? Ugh, no way, I protested, voice shaky. Come to think of it, he keeps claiming he has dates, then never leaves. And his future girlfriend supposedly loves the same chocolate fudge cake I do. Avery kept rambling about other stuff, but I only half listened. My brain kept looping. What if the girl Asher likes is me? The next few days I dodged him on purpose, partly because of that mortifying late night of text, partly because if he really does like me, I have zero idea what to do about it. One day, on my way home from work, I spotted them from a distance, Asher and a girl, laughing as they walked along. I hurried into a corner to hide. From the looks of it, that girl was pretty cute, so the person really did exist. For a second, my chest felt hollow. I sighed, probably because seeing how young Asher was and already dating, while I was 28 and had never even had a first kiss. I told myself, watching them side by side. I'd thought about going over to say hi, but decided against it, no need to crash their moment. I turned around and took a different route home. Nina. Halfway there, a clear male voice rang out, startled. I spun around. Derek. Long time no see. It could only have been a year. At last year's class reunion, he'd been our TA, so our whole class stayed in touch. Derek, what are you doing here? I had some business nearby, didn't expect to run into you. It's almost dinner, I still owe you for that favor you did me. Come on, my treat. Derek issued the invitation. Sure, Derek. I agreed, figuring I'd put him off long enough. Ducking again now that we'd bumped into each other would be rude. I was just pulling out my phone to tell Asher I wouldn't be home for dinner, then remembered he'd probably be eating out with that girl anyway. No need to spell it out. Old friends always have plenty to say. Add the fact that we're in the same field, and the conversation rolled on until after 10. I'll drive you home. That's okay, Derek. My condo's pretty close, I can walk. I've got a car, why walk when I can give you a lift? In the end, his warmth was unstoppable. When we reached the gate of my complex, it was almost 11. Lucky tomorrow's the weekend. On the ride, I'd wondered whether Asher was back yet. My phone had died, so I'd been incommunicado. While I was unclicking my seatbelt, Derek was already outside, opening my door. Still the perfect gentleman, no wonder half the campus had crushed on him back in college. I'd had a short spell of infatuation myself. I stepped out, stumbled a little. Good thing Derek's reflexes were quick and he caught me, or my beautiful face would have met asphalt. Ellis, I said with a laugh. You're still as clumsy as ever. Derek, head home, it's late. Alright, see you next time. After watching his car disappear, I turned and spotted what looked like Asher's silhouette in the distance. I squinted, trying to make sure, but the figure gradually melted into the night. Back inside, I saw Asher's shoes by the door. He was home. I glanced toward his room, the light was already off. Must have turned in ages ago. I swapped my heels for flip-flops and went to my room, plugged in my phone, then grabbed clothes for a shower. When I came out after tossing the laundry in, the phone had sucked up enough juice to boot. A flood of missed messages erupted across the screen. I looked, and it was all Asher. Nina, not eating at home tonight? It's almost 10. Nina, still not back? Nina, why so late? Who'd you go out with? Guy or girl? What were you doing? Why no heads up? Nina, why aren't you answering? Nina, why won't you pick up? Nina, fine. Be that way. Nina, where are you? It's late, not safe. Want me to come get you? About 50 like those, plus a dozen missed calls. I towel-dried my hair, reading the texts. Why's this kid so clingy? He's not a baby anymore. Avery never mentioned her little brother was like this. Besides, he'd gone on his own date. What right did he have to police mine? I scrolled to the final pair, smiling so happily. No wonder you ignored me. Just don't come back then. Attached was a little smirking emoji. He 11 p.m. Had that shadow downstairs really been him? I frowned, replaying the image. Yeah, the outline had matched. Next morning, I was up early. No idea why, but I'd slept terribly. Asher filled my head all night. I opened my bedroom door and saw him in the kitchen, working on the breakfast spread. Hey. Morning. I walked over, greeting him, feeling weirdly guilty for no reason. Asher didn't answer, he just kept frying his egg. What's your problem? I told you, my phone died, okay? It wasn't like I ignored you on purpose. I nudged him with my elbow. He lifted his eyes, gave me one look, stayed silent. You went on a date yourself, yet I'm not allowed to go out. It slipped out before I could stop it. He'd looked plenty happy with that girl, why was he grilling me? So unfair. Who? He actually sounded bewildered. Your future girlfriend. Did he need me to remind him? Her soul's already been snatched by some other guy. So what date with me? Asher's tone was pure grievance, his long lashes fluttering. Oh, now I get it. The golden boy had struck out. He was taking it out on me. I started looking Asher up and down. I helped him dissect the problem. Then you're just not charming enough. That makes zero sense. With your height, your face, your body, you're a decent guy too. There's no reason that girl shouldn't like you. Just how drop-dead gorgeous is this rival of yours? Have you even met him? Hey. Nina, can I ask you a favor? After you win that girl over, introduce me to your rival, okay? I jabbed Asher with my finger. By the end I was already daydreaming. Nina. He kept his already deep voice low. What now? He suddenly shouted my name, scared the heck out of me. Calling me Nina straight out like that, rude much? I pointed at Asher, muttering under my breath. You're such a dummy. He stared at me and sighed heavily, scooped the eggs onto a plate, turned and walked away, still managed a parting shot. No wonder you're 28 and never been kissed. Hey, that's a personal attack. Who told you I've never been kissed? Was it your sister? Fine, I admit I lost it. No wonder that girl doesn't like you. Poison tongue. Sure enough, the moment those words left my mouth, he rolled his eyes again. I hadn't seen Asher since he left in the morning. Night came, he still wasn't back. I sat alone in the dark living room watching a sci-fi thriller. Click, the door opened. I jumped in fright. It was just Asher coming home. I hit pause on the movie. You scared me to death, I blurted at him. He didn't answer, didn't even change his shoes. Slam, he shut the door, then came straight for me. Oh my god, the movie had just shown a clone takeover. I was freaking out. Asher, is that really you? Why aren't you saying anything? Still silent, walking straight at me. Help, this vibe, totally horror movie terrifying. In a panic, I hurled a pillow at him. He tilted his head and dodged. Closer and closer. Suddenly he dropped onto the couch beside me, tucked both arms through mine, and rested his head on my shoulder. Only then did I catch the faint smell of alcohol on him. Been drinking? I asked, letting him lean on me. His warm breath fanned my neck, tickling. Lovesick? I teased, half laughing. He lifted his head. The living room was dark. I couldn't see his face. I think you. Before I could finish, warmth brushed my lips. My brain felt like it short-circuited. I couldn't think at all. Asher's mouth, tasting of liquor, claimed mine. My heart slammed in my chest. Before I could even react, his lips left mine. My first kiss, gone, just like that. I like you, Nina, he said, voice low and trembling. You, like me? I echoed, dazed. But that girl the other day, she's your future girlfriend, right? Which girl? Yesterday. He blinked, then gave a soft laugh. Yesterday I got the feeling you've been avoiding me lately. I wanted to pick you up from work, ran into a classmate, chatted for a minute, that's all. But, words failed me. The one I've always liked is you. His hand cupped my cheek, thumb stroking gently. Are you drunk? I could feel his smile. He shook his head slightly, forehead touching mine. I like Nina, I like you. I've made it so obvious, but Nina's a dummy, and couldn't tell. I was just scared. I'm a coward too, terrified you'd reject me, so I drank a little to work up the nerve. Will you be my girlfriend, Nina? My mind was mush. Somehow I kissed him first. I felt him freeze. Then he answered with a kiss far hungrier than mine, nipping my lower lip, slipping his tongue in, teasing mine until I was panting, our breaths tangled together. Extra. I stepped out of the shower and found Asher casually stretched across my bed. Sleep in your own room tonight, I have work tomorrow, I said, walking over with a smile. He pulled me down and wrapped me in his arms. Then let me just hold Nina for a minute. He stayed quiet, for all of 5 seconds. Nina likes my abs, right? Nina, that account is mine, those abs selfies are mine. Ah, so that crazy night wasn't Vance's accident. He kept whispering in my ear. I'll let you touch them right now. With that he guided my hand under his shirt. His burning skin seared my palm. From now on these are only for you to touch. Okay, Nina? He buried his head against my collarbone, dusting tiny kisses everywhere. Thanks for listening to today's story. If you liked it, please double tap and share with friends. We can't wait to read your comments. Share your thoughts, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more great stories. See you next time.